Hello, my name is Steve Fender. I'm from Fender's Fish Hatchery. And the point of this video today is talk about a product that we sell here at the farm. It's called Nature's Pond Conditioner. What this is, I got it here behind me. This is it's a blend of bacteria, beneficial bacteria and enzymes, and a little bit of a pond dye. The important part of this product is the bacteria and the enzymes. You want to look at your pond like you would a septic tank. If you have a septic tank, if you don't have an active bacteria working in there, you will have to get it pumped out. Your pond is nothing more than a great big septic tank. You got fish manure, dead fish, goose and duck manure, vegetation grown and dying, tree leaves. Anything organic will produce organic matter or become organic matter, one or the other or both over time. And that organic matter is all that black, fluffy, stinky muck that's in the bottom of your pond. As this muck builds up, your fertility rates build up also. The difference between an old pond and a new pond is the fertility rate. Old ponds are much more fertile than new ponds just simply because of all this muck that's built up in the pond over the years. If you drive around the country and you see a pond, or maybe you got a pond of your own like this, that gets completely covered up with vegetation, duckweed, watermeal, the water clarity goes away, it just becomes a swamp. The reason it gets to that point is because of all these fertility, all this waste that gets built up in the bottom of the pond. And that fertility fuels the growth of all your vegetations. Your vegetations go from rooted in vegetation, algae, duckweed, watermeal, your algae planktonic blooms, all this needs nutrients to grow. And the more nutrients, the more vegetation you're going to grow. So by using a beneficial bacteria like this, what this will do is it goes down in that muck and it actually digests that organic waste and turns it back into gases. And that's where bottom aeration and even surface aeration will help to let those gases escape. But these bacteria and enzymes actually compete for the same food that your vegetation competes for. So by using these products, you actually break down those nutrients. Your water clarity will get better. Your algae and weeds won't grow as quite as prolifically, making it easier to control with your grass carp or whatever other methods you're using. Your water clarity will get better because your algae planktonic bloom doesn't grow as aggressively. And that's another very important part of this video I want to drive home is without sunlight, we have no photosynthesis. As your fertility rates go up, your algae planktonic blooms, and these are little tiny single cell plant lives that you can't physically pick them up because they're so tiny, but that also is what prevents your sunlight penetration or gives your water color or lack of clarity. So the higher your fertility rates go up, the denser your blooms grow, the less sunlight penetration you have. And if you don't have any sunlight, if you can dive down in that water and you could go down there 8, 10, 12 feet and it's pitch black, that's going to be dead water because there's no photosynthesis down there. So by using your beneficial bacteria and bottom aeration and keeping your nutrient loads under control, you have better sunlight penetration, more deep photosynthesis. So that's the whole idea behind these bacteria. I push these very aggressively at the farm, and the reason I do this is because I spend a lot of time talking to customers in July and August about summertime fish kill. Summertime fish kill comes around by getting your nutrient loads too high again. Your blooms get to growing too aggressively, and a lot of times those blooms will have a storm come in or they'll just simply die on their own, but something to cause those blooms to die while they're in there producing a massive amount of oxygen. But when they die very aggressively when the water's hot in the summertime, and that causes summertime fish kill. A lot of people mistake it for turnover. And turnover is very uncommon, and more commonly, it's if a customer has a fish kill in the summertime, it's almost always an old body of water, very nutrient rich, very dense vegetation as far as that algae planktonic bloom, and they'll notice also that the water clarity got very clear after the fish died, and that tells me that their algae planktonic blooms died and went away, and now make your water clear again. So, whole point of this is by staying active with using your beneficial bacteria, whether it's ours or the competition's whoever, you keep that nutrient load under control and that water clarity will stay better. You won't have the plant life to die to take the oxygen out of the water as aggressively, and you'll have deeper photosynthesis because you have more sunlight penetration. So you want to use these kind of products. The bottom aeration and beneficial bacteria like what we have here, the whole point of these processes is to try to get the water clear by controlling your nutrient load and getting more photosynthesis. We're just basically trying to help Mother Nature do her job by using these products. Now, the one we sell here, the Nature's Pond Conditioner from Co-Owners, is a company we've been in partnership for over 30 years with. Been a good company. They produce a good product. What I like about this particular product is it'll work for up to 4 to 5 months per treatment. So we do a spring application and a fall application. And as far as how much you use depends largely on your situation. Every pond's different. You got old ponds and new ponds. I tell my customers with the brand new ponds, give it a season. A little bit of waste build up before you start dumping products in so you don't spend money you don't want to spend. You give it a year for your fish manure, your duck manure, your vegetation, you'll start to have something in there. So I look at this product as preventative maintenance in those situations. I'll tell my customers use a gallon per acre once a year, preventative maintenance. Now, if you have a farm and field above you, it's got a lot of manure wash off, or you have trees around it, or you're dumping a lot of leaves in, you got a neighbor that's dumping a bunch of fertilizer in his lawn, these kind of situations where fertility rates are increasing faster than they should, bump that treatment up. Maybe do it twice a year, a gallon per acre. Maybe if you have a real bad situation, you may need to go 2 or 3 gallons per acre. The customers that come into the farm that have already experienced that fish kill, they've got an old pond, lots of deep muck, duckweed and watermeal, things become a swamp. I'll tell them to use a gallon per quarter acre twice a year and monitor that muck level and the water clarity and the vegetation growth. Pay attention to what's going on with your pond over the course of each year. And what you'll notice is first of all, your water clarity will start to get better. If you have duckweed and watermeal, after 3 or 4 years of using this product, you'll see the duckweed and watermeal actually go away. Your algae and root and vegetation will grow prolifically. It'll start to look like a new pond again. As you use the product and you see these things happen, you can start to dial back these treatments a little bit. This is a product you really want to get in schedule and look at this as something you're going to use for the rest of your pond's life, or the rest of your life. As long as you've got that pond, you want to use this to try to keep that pond nice and clean. This will prevent me from having that conversation with you about that summertime fish kill, about why all your fish died when it got really hot that 1 week in August, and you went out there and the fish were all dead. So that's the whole point of this whole thing. But getting back to the treatment, to the application rate. Here again, if I have a customer that has a brand new pond, a gallon per acre, once a year, preventative maintenance, use accordingly. My customers that come in and have that swamp situation, I tell them to get out there, walk in the pond, measure that muck depth, find out what you're dealing with. If you got a foot, 2 feet, 3 feet of muck, get an idea what you have, and in that way, as you use it once a year, go out and measure that muck. So you can see that what I'm telling you is actually working. And as you see that muck recede, eventually you get to the point you go out there and you walk around and you don't stir up any black silt anymore. Your legs aren't clear to black crap when you come out. You're stirring up brown dirt instead of black muck. When you get to that point, you know you can dial this back and start using a more affordable rate. So it is expensive to treat these ponds with these products, but it's a whole lot cheaper than draining and dredging. So check it out, whether it's our product or the competition's. What we have, I know how it works. I know it does work. These products will do the job for you. It is very much an important part of ponds, just like having a septic tank. You got to keep an active bacteria or you will be pumping the thing out. So check it out. If you got any questions, go to our website, www.fendersfishhatchery.com. You'll find my email, my phone number, all that information. Give us a call. We can ship this stuff anywhere in the United States. It's working. It's proven. We've been selling it for 15 years or better now, and a lot of good positive results from it. Check it out. Thanks for watching.